This is the scary truth about traveling when you have a kidney stone. I know you said this is something that people worry about and stress about so much.
Every time somebody says how stressed they are about whatever, in this case, traveling, I always feel bad because as somebody who has had some illness in her life, I really understand what it's like. I had to get, every month I would have to go for about 6 months. I would have to go back and forth. I would get chemo here in Chicago at Northwestern, and I would have to travel once a month to Sloan Kettering to get chemo in this liver pump that I had. And it's scary getting on a plane when you're not well. What's even scarier is getting on a plane when you don't even know if you don't know if a kidney stone's about to move. The only thing that you know is you have had a kidney stone in the past and it was the worst pain you ever had in your whole life. So the thought of being in an airplane and maybe you're going to Asia, maybe it's a, 20-hour flight, maybe you're going to Australia. It's a very scary thing. So a lot of my private consults are about, Jill, let's go over this urine collection. But we planned this family vacation 2 years ago, and it's thousands of dollars. I don't know if I want to go on it. I don't know if the stone's going to pass while I'm away. I'm in another country, so I'm petrified that I won't know the language. What about their ER, their urgent care? I don't know. So people are really scared. And I've had many people cancel family trips that they've just, it's a lot. It's a lot. So here's what I tell these patients. So I tell them this. Please speak to your doctor and have him or her look at your latest imaging. Where is that stone located? Lots of time when it's in the lower lobe of the kidney, it has to go against gravity to come out. So a lot of the doctors will say that lower lobe kidney stone, it's not going anywhere, Timmy, so you can go on your flight. Now, this doesn't mean that Timmy's not scared, because he still is. Because there's no guarantees, and that is what I will tell you, folks. There is no guarantee that a stone is not going to move. You can't guarantee that. But probably it won't. Probably it won't. So number one, I would ask your doctor, what does my imaging suggest? Would you cancel a trip? What are the odds that this is going to pass? Is it highly going to pass? Is this something that's going to pass in a month, 2 months? They may say, I'm not sure, but typically when I see stones like that, it could be you could have it forever. Some of you may have a stone right at the UVJ, and that's right before it gets to the bladder, from the ureter to the bladder, and that could be just a week or two, and that's going to pass. So your doctor, your urologist, he's the surgeon that takes stones out. He will know best if it is safe for you to travel. Now, I have had other patients say to me, oh, we're going on this trip. My wife will kill me if I don't go on this trip. She's been wanting this, Jill, since our honeymoon. So then I tell patients, pack a bag. So he's going, no matter what, he's going. And I say, pack a little first aid kit. Ask your doctor if he could prescribe preemptively some Flomax that can help dilate a ureter and help you, if a stone's about to pass when you're in your vacation place. Pain medication, Tylenol, Advil, if that's okay for you. Not everyone can take ibuprofen and Advil and the NSAIDs. But a heating pad, things like that can help you with pain if a stone decides to move. I would bring a thermometer. Travel with the thermometer. Do you have a fever? I know this seems kind of like crazy, but it's really not. And I don't even know why I always travel with a first aid kit. Well, you're a nurse, Jill, of course you do. But I do. Because, if I'm staying in a hotel, there's no doctor in the hotel I'm staying at. So if I cut myself or whatever, I want a little first aid pack with me. It has my aspirin or whatever I'm taking, Band-Aids, all that kind of stuff. I have a nice little first aid kit. So have a little travel first aid kit with you with the things that make you feel better when you're trying to pass a stone. Those are some of the things that I would say. So as far as having fear and whether you should cancel a flight or not, I would never tell somebody to cancel a flight. That is something that's a very personal decision. I will always defer to your doctor and ask the doctor, based upon the location of my stone, the size of it, etc., do you think I can make this trip that we've planned for, for months, and I can't get my money back kind of thing. Going forward, this is something I always have, where I started when I was going through my cancer stuff. I always get trip insurance. God forbid, maybe the stone, maybe a week before, you have some movement with that stone and it's trying to pass, and you're like, hell no, I'm not going on that flight no matter what, because I'm in the middle of passing a stone. I would suggest you always have, when you have medical conditions, urgent care kind of things, like a kidney stone, I would suggest that you get trip insurance so you don't lose money if you do have to, unfortunately, cancel a trip. But talk to your doctor. What's the best idea for you to do? Should you go on a trip? Should you not? That's going to be based upon each of your specific circumstances. That's what I got to say about that, Jeff.
Yeah, and I think that's so important, figuring out the best way to have the doctor's visits too. Like the things to ask, you don't know what to ask. So that is one of the things that's right on the website, absolutely free. There is a guide to having a better doctor's visit. If you go to kidneystonediet.com, go to the resources page, and you'll see the absolutely free guide that Jill has put together to be sure, not only for travel, but just overall, that you get the best care that you possibly can.
I think that's really important, Jeff, because when you first get a kidney stone and you're going, if you haven't talked to me first, meaning a lot of patients get one and then call me and we talk, and then I tell them what to say at a doctor's office visit. But if you haven't talked to me, my blog is filled with things like that, and I think it's the most critical thing to ask your doctor. There's that blog post, and the other blog post is, ask these questions at your doctor's first appointment. That's your first appointment with your urologist, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that if you don't know to ask, 9 out of 10 offices ain't offering. And there's certain things I want you to know going into that first urology appointment. Nowadays, folks, you're waiting months and months and months to get your tush in the doctor's office. Your office visits are so backed up. So you don't want to waste it. When you get there, you have your list. Here's what I'm supposed to ask you. Get it done. And you'll feel prepared and you won't waste that visit. Otherwise, you're not going to go back for another 6 months to a year and you don't know what you're supposed to do. And that's another reason why people come to me so anxious and in fear, because they don't know what to do. So kidneystonediet.com, the blog, it's just info after info, all kinds of stuff. And of course, free, and then this YouTube channel. And if you're finding it useful, could you please like and subscribe? That would be very helpful to us so people can find us in the algorithm when people search for kidney stones. Thanks.
And if you want to be kept on track, there's also the free weekly email newsletter that Jill sends to you every weekend. So you can find all of that at kidneystonediet.com. And I think we'll wrap there today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.